With hour 27, you have come to a part of patterns which I really fell in love with. I was once asked what my favorite pattern is, and without a doubt, I can tell you that this is my favorite pattern that we'll learn here. It is so simplistic that when people first teach it, students learn it, and then it's never addressed again in a class, or students are never shown its full wealth of the ability to express yourself and to ask questions. It's the simplest of patterns, yet it is the most dynamic and really magical one by far for me. If you click on this PDF, here it is. Most people, or I should say most teachers, when they address this pattern, are only addressing this part. You must. It's the same as I have to. And really, you're doing a great disservice to this pattern, or this group of patterns. Only 5% of the time when this pattern is used, do they use it to mean I have to. Only about 5%. So how is it used the rest of the time? Therein lies the beauty of this pattern. First, let me show you. It only has a present and a past tense. It can be used with the verbs, with an adjective, or with a noun, right? How can I express this to you, how it's used? It's used first to guess about things. You guess, and you have to give the person you're talking to, a subliminal message that I'm going to guess about something. Please respond. So here's a scenario. My son comes home and he brings a girl with him as a teenager. Instead of asking, who is she? I can simply say, oh, she must be your new girlfriend. He will respond. Just look in their eyes when you guess things, and you can sense what the answer is. You can anticipate what they're going to say. It almost takes them off guard when you guess. You don't say to them, oh, I'm going to guess this is your new girlfriend. No, you're going to say, oh, this must be your new girlfriend. The great part about guessing is that people never get angry when you guess something. They never get offended, usually. On the other end of it, you have people in conversation that turn into policemen in an interrogation room. It's question after question after question after question. I mean, you get tired of that, You want to softly ask somebody a question without really making a question. That is the beauty of this pattern. An example, somebody comes in to my house. They look like they've been crying. Instead of saying, have you been crying? I can say, oh, you must have been crying. You must have been upset, right? They will tell me. It just stimulates a conversation. We go out to dinner and this person is raving about this food. It looks like an expensive restaurant. There's not even prices on the menu. Oh my God. So I want to know how much it costs. So I don't say to the person who brought me, how much does this cost? That would sound a bit silly. But I can just mention, just say, this must be really expensive. Right? They will respond. Without a doubt, they'll respond to you. It's a guess, but its function is to ask a question without being a question and to stimulate conversation. Somebody comes in and they said, I went to visit my mother-in-law this weekend. And when the person says it, they have sort of a grumpy face, a sad face. And so you say, it must have been nice, Then they'll tell you, oh no, I have difficulty with it, blah, blah, blah. They'll begin to tell you things they didn't want to tell you maybe. This is part of intuition. In Korean, it's called Nunchi. You are looking in their face, seeing how they'll respond to you. You lost. I was in the house. I lost. I had put $10 on the kitchen table, and I come back a couple hours later, and it's not there. So I go up to my child, and instead of saying, "Hey, did you take that $10?" I could say, "Oh, you must have taken the $10." They'll tell me. Even if they don't tell me, I look in their eyes. I can see their expression. Anytime you guess, you can use this pattern. You go down the street and, can you identify a Korean from a Chinese or Japanese? Many Asian people can. So, you're driving along in a car and you see some people and somebody will guess, oh, he must be a Korean. Or you hear somebody talk as you're passing by them on the sidewalk and they're speaking Japanese. And you say to the person you're walking with, you don't say, oh, they're speaking are they speaking Japanese? You say, oh, they must be Japanese. I heard them talking. Anytime you guess, you're going to be using this pattern. It is one of the most beautiful patterns in English. If I ever hear a beginning student, without prompting them to use this pattern, I stand up and clap. They have it. They've mastered the art of asking a question by guessing. And watch TV sometime. Watch how many times people guess about things. She must not have liked it. I look outside right now. It's February. It's March, actually. I say, oh, my God, it must be cold outside. Who's ever in the room is going to say, yeah, it's cold. Yeah, it looks like it's cold. It stimulates that conversation. I don't have to ask them, is it cold outside? You just guess, I see a couple in love. You can just see it. I say, oh, they must be in love. Or I want to know where they met, right? So we're talking, and I want to know where they met first. Now, everybody has curiosity. So, okay, I'm not going to ask them, hey, where did you meet? I'm going to softly, I don't want to sound like a cop, a policeman. I just softly put in, oh, you must have met at school. Even if you guess wrong, it doesn't make any difference. They will still tell you. And you'll get the feeling if they don't want to tell you too, and to back off. But, my grandson had a test yesterday. He comes home, instead of saying, how was the test, I can get the same reply from him by saying, oh, that test must have been difficult today. ladies and gentlemen, this is the most beautiful pattern. I hope you're able to convey that to your students.